All right, everyone, good morning. So it's Friday morning, and we're at the end of what has been a pretty challenging week for me. I actually haven't imported yesterday's trade, so let me go and do that quickly while we wait for some people to get tuned in on the morning show. Thank you guys who are tuning in. I really appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up. You're telling YouTube that this is a video worth watching. This is a broadcast worth recommending to friends. So I appreciate you helping feed the YouTube algorithm. We're all a victim of the algo in one way or another, whether it's trading or YouTube. All right, so we've got to feed that algo. All right, so let's see. Let me download yesterday's trades and upload them into TraderView. So yesterday, by the end of the day, I was up around $7,000-$8,000. That was on INDO. All right, so INDO, big move yesterday, as you probably recall. Did a recap of it. 200% squeeze, which was, great to see. It was the biggest move that we'd had in 2 weeks, and it was the most I had made on one trade in 2 weeks. So, I was really pleased. Finally some momentum. Let's see. Did I already grab that? No. Why is that not giving me that trade? Apply. Huh. Well, hold on one second. Let me try this again. Import trades, add. Got it. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see. So this has been my terrible month of January. Great start for the first 2 weeks, and then pretty brutal the last 2 weeks. So yesterday I had some profit, 7,300, puts me still down 2,000 on the month. The good news is if I step back a little bit further, clear that. So, let's see. So that's 30 days of trading. That's 60 days. That's 90 days. The bigger picture is good, but it's been a tough couple weeks for me. So green yesterday and green today, and wanting to keep it green. I'm not going to finish this week flat. I'm going to have 2 red weeks in a row, which is not great, but at the same time, that's part of trading. It's the ebb and the flow, the up and the down, and so just kind of got to roll with it as much as I can. So as I sit here this morning, about 9:15. Leading gapper IMPP. All right, so IMPP on this one, initially I sat down this morning, right, and it was right around here, and I was like, this is a terrible chart. Why? It's another one of these 4 a.m. spikes, and we keep seeing these 4 a.m. spikes, and what happens? They keep selling off. And it's not to say that you couldn't trade it if you were sitting here at 4 a.m. and, keyboard warrior ready to just nail that trade, and you certainly could have if you were up that early. But this is what we kind of keep seeing, these spikes, and then they pull back, and we saw a few of them today. So you can trade them, but you've got to be really careful, because if you get into too high, next thing you know, you're underwater. So anyways, yesterday it squeezed up, it halted up, it opened higher, it hit a high of 236 and then pulled all the way back down, ended up finishing yesterday red. It was a red candle yesterday. Pretty high volume, red candle yesterday. So this one just couldn't hold up. This is a petroleum company, INDO, energy company. It was squeezing up yesterday because INDO is squeezing. Pure sympathy momentum. That's what we call it. One energy stock is strong, you'll find another one that's strong too. So that was the catalyst on IMPP. It was pure sympathy. And this morning, pops up again at 4 a.m. No news, just continued sympathy. It pulls back, and then it pops again here. So when it popped here, I said, you know what? I'm going to take the trade. And so my first trade of the day was a flat top breakout long at 224 to anticipate the break of 225. It pops up to 235. I took my profit, $378, took it off the table. Boom, done. At this point right now, it's pulled back a little bit more down to under 2. Now it's back up to around the same level. So it's kind of a weird pattern. We've got some false breakouts on it. It's not super clean. The level 2, surprisingly, is a bit stacked considering it's only a 4.78 million share float. So that actually makes me want to just go and double check that. So I'm going to look at the SEC filings on this stock. There's not a lot. It doesn't look like we even have earnings posted yet because it's a somewhat recent IPO. There's an initial registration of new securities, prospectus. So this is not as easy as just looking, because on the 10Q, it would show exactly what the shares are. This is going to require a bit more digging. So yeah, I'm not sure what the shares are. So all right, so that's IMPP. Now let's look back at INDO for a second. INDO, and I'm going to check on SEC filings on this one. So this one has a shelf registration. So we know a shelf registration gives them the right to sell more shares onto the market. They do have an active shelf that's worth being aware of. Gives them the right to sell up to $50 million in stock. And it wouldn't shock me if we do see a secondary offering from this company at some point in the next few days, just based on the chart pattern. I mean, this is, with it being up this much, this is a good opportunity potentially for it to, make a move. Let's see. We knew we had daily resistance at 925, and it hit a high yesterday of 921. I was up 16,000 on it yesterday, but then gave back half my profit. Was grateful to finish the day green, but it was certainly not the best day I've ever had. So at this point on INDO, the fact that it dropped on this candle here, we were in this wedge, we were right above VWAP. We were forming a 5-minute bull flag, and then it just rolled over. It rolled over and it died. And now it's dead. The chart is broken. I have very low expectations for it. I'm a bit disappointed. I was hoping maybe we would get second day of good opportunities, and we didn't. Let's see. So we've got that right there. So I was long through this. So I bought as it squeezed up right here. We had a micro pullback at 640. I added at 650, only got a partial fill, hit a high of 7. I then added back at 716. Right at 716, I added back. It pulled back down to 675. I added on the dip. It came back up to 705. My average came back down to 693. I held it. And then finally, I had to cut the loss when it dropped. And it was, that wasn't fun. I was up on it. Not a lot, but I was up on it. And then I gave back all my profit on that drop. So hit a low of 590. My exit was, I got out as soon as it broke VWAP, which was 670, but I got slippage down to 650, 640. So I did get some slippage on it, unfortunately. All right, sorry. So anyways, INDO, yeah. HC Wainwright, let's see. TGTX. TGTX. I don't see that. Where is it? HC Wainwright, adjust target to 68 from 70, keeps a buy rating. So they've reduced the target to $68 from 70. Okay. They're trying to keep it real. Listen, stock's at 850. 70 feels a little too high. Let's bring it down. Should we bring it down to like 10? No. Let's do 68. 68. This stock hasn't been at $68 since almost ever. It looks like back in like forever ago. And then a series of reverse splits. But, you know, I don't take price targets super seriously. We do see them. I mean, obviously we see them, and we see them sometimes on small cap stocks like this, where you'll see a nice, juicy price target, and you think, all right, you know, okay, someone has high expectations for this, but I just don't see it on the chart, you know. But I don't do fundamental analysis, so presumably they did some fundamental analysis to come to that number. But, you know, I say presumably, I have no idea. Yesterday it dropped from 14 back to 8 on this news here of FDA imposes partial clinical hold. IMPP, yeah, let's look. So we've got about 3 minutes to the bell this morning. You know, INDO yesterday wasn't on my watch list. It just came up and ended up giving us a surprise trade. So I will be sitting here through 10:30, 11, and let's see if we get a surprise opportunity today. We might. We just might. Might not, but I'm going to sit here in case we do. Because otherwise I wouldn't have had that profit that I got yesterday on INDO if I hadn't been sitting here. So INDO, you know, again, made back most of what I lost on Wednesday, and on Tuesday, well, that day, it just is what it is. So got a couple bigger red days here, depending on whether you look at gross or net, but they're both, it doesn't really matter. So IMPP, I'm not feeling super optimistic on that one, but you never know. So we'll keep an eye on it just in case. We'll leave an order at 225 maybe, and we'll see if we get any good opportunities. All right, so thank you guys for tuning into the morning show. Not, you know, again, we're just in a little bit of a slow patch, so just trying to get through it, try to keep our head above water. My head's underwater, I guess, in the last 2 weeks, but on the month, I'm making my way. My goal is really adjusted from the monthly goal, which was initially $200,000, to seeing if I can just finish the month green. So have significantly reduced my target for the month, but I'm sure in a hotter market later in the year, I'll have a month where I far exceed my goal, and that'll tie that, you know, and I had months just in October, November, December that far exceeded my goal. And so, you know, those months have to tide me over. We can see right here, you know, 500 in October, 466 in November, 333 in December. So I set the goal at 200, which has kind of been what I looked at as my slower months, May, August, and September. And, you know, I was at 100 halfway through the month, so it seemed like I was on track for that. But then market really cooled off, and I didn't ease off the throttle. I kept my, you know, pedal to the metal, and well, you know, well, that's gross profit before fees and commissions. So the net is a huge red candle. Well, it's only 1,900 bucks, so it's not the end of the world. IMPP. So you could see how you could have taken that trade right there at 23. Good job for those that did. I sort of missed it, but I'd take profit into this move. The high is 45. I don't know if it's going to break through 50, but yesterday's high was about right at this level. So if it can, then you'd look for 57, 73, and then 88. What we've seen a lot of at the open is kind of this squeeze and then the rollover. So, all right, those on YouTube, join me next week, Monday. I'll be back at it, morning show around 9:15 to 9:30, and hopefully we see some better opportunity next week than we saw this week. All right, take it slow. Remember, as always, trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money. My results are not typical. I share my results with you because it's important that you know the person you're learning from is qualified, but you shouldn't assume that these results are typical. So please take it slow. Trade in a simulator before you put real money on the line, and I'll see you guys on Monday morning. Warrior Pro students, let's keep trading. Let's see if we can find some opportunities today. INDO, popping on the scanner. We'll keep it on watch. $7 is the important level. You see how it's right under VWAP? That's a rejection of VWAP right there. That's a VWAP rejection. So there's no trade at that spot. KSCP.